In here, and before the video begins, I just want to apologize if my voice sounds a little bit off. I am getting over a pretty bad cold that I got, but I really wanted to make this video a lot sooner, but just never got around to it. But anyways, so as everybody knows, we are at the end of Season 2, and Season 3 is hopefully bound to eventually be announced. So I just want to make a little video about what I am wanting from Season 3. So just get started. For the balancing ordeal, I would like for, first off, combo length to be shortened. I think easily one of the most exhausting things about both playing and watching this game to a certain extent is definitely how long combos are in this game. You know, we now got like heat bound. I think we have like 2 tailspins you can do in a combo, and with heat dashes and all of that, it really makes like I've seen so many videos, for example, people comparing combo length in this game compared to like Tekken 6 and Tekken 7, and it's mad how long combos are in this game. And I don't think that combo damage is the problem. You know, Tekken's always been a high damage game, but I definitely think that combo length, they should shorten it. I don't think that we should be able to tailspin as much as we can, and maybe I wouldn't really know what they could do, just because it seems like they're really like set in stone of what they want heat to be and do. But I think that maybe if they were to find a way to like maybe remove heat bounding you in the middle of combos, that would probably help out a whole lot. The other thing that I'm wanting is roster-wide removal of combo, or not combo, but stance transitions. My other issue that I have with this game is that a lot of characters now, I feel like, are just string in the stance or move in the stance, and it really makes something that used to kind of be like a niche thing for some characters be just roster wide. Like if like the rosters just bastardized into like stance transitions, and I think it adds more to the frustration of the game, because with Season 2, a lot of these stances, you know, they have a lot of like homing options or armor or tracking. They really cover up a lot of weaknesses of characters. I mean, we've all seen characters like, you know, Ana, Lydia just terrorizing, whether it be ranked or online. And I think that if they were to just tone them down by a lot, or just remove a lot of like unnecessary moves that go into stances, I feel like that would be a very, very big help towards this game. Another thing is, of course, the less plus frames and tracking, which Tekken 8 Season 2, we saw a lot more of that, and it's been covered to death. There are other people who are more qualified than me to go over specifically that, if I'm being honest. So, obviously I think they should tone that down, which would also help out quite a lot. And I think one thing that I would like is, I don't really know how much people have said this specifically, but I know for me, I was thinking about it recently. So, heat. They're not going to remove it. Heat is the Tekken 8 mechanic. It's not going anywhere. But what I think would maybe help out with dealing with it is that, if I remember correctly, in Street Fighter 5, you know, they had that mechanic, V-Trigger. You had to, like, earn it. I think if they made it to where you, instead of immediately having full heat at the beginning of every single round, they made it something that you had to earn. I think that that would remove just the fatigue of constantly having to deal with this very overwhelming mechanic. And I think that that would do wonders for the game. I also think that maybe toning down a lot on some characters' installs, like, for example, June, her shooting a whole Kamehameha, or like Heihachi's, I think it's called Warrior Instinct? Yeah, I think if they tone stuff down like that, because I don't think they're going to remove any of it. But I definitely do think that they could tone it all down somehow. But aside from the bouncing, though, let's move on to the characters. Now, the characters that I would like to see. So, first off, Miguel. I think to me, Miguel is a for sure. I think that he would add a lot to the Tekken 8 story. Is this has been Jin's big redemption arc, and it's kind of led to a lot of funny instances, like Eddie, for example, being the guy that was like working under Jin in Tekken 6, who really was not a big fan of it, suddenly forgiving him. I think that them adding Miguel into the game would add like the opposition that Jin really needs. He wouldn't side of Kazi or anything, but he also ain't gonna side of Jin, but he wants Jin dead. As we saw in Miguel's Tekken 7 ending, where here he didn't kill Jin, but he told him he was gonna wait for him to be filled with hope and then break him like he's nothing. And then now Jin currently is happier than he's ever been. So I think that story-wise, Miguel would come back and obviously would still want revenge for when Jin initiated World War III in Tekken 6. It killed his sister during her wedding. So I imagine they would not have Miguel just forgive him, which would be the greatest case of mental gymnastics in all of writing. But aside from that, though, I just think Miguel's a really cool character. He's just a very like raw, rough, like street brawler, and I think that he would add a nice, spice to the game. The other character is Julia. Julia, she was my favorite Tekken female character before Lydia came out. I really like Lydia, which, seeing as how she is in this game, I hope that does get me hung. But um, I think Julia is also, like Miguel, a really highly requested character. I've always been a big fan of like her fighting style, and I think that she would also add an interesting aspect to the story. I could be wrong on this, but I believe like her lore was that again the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3, she was after Heihachi because he had stolen some like family treasure from her family, and so with that whole like past feud, and now with Heihachi back yet again to no one's surprise, she could be back in the fold. Hopefully not as a streamer. I'm gonna be real, I wasn't too crazy on her suddenly turning into a e-girl, but I know that a lot of people vibe with it, and hey, to each is their own. So I think Julia would be a great addition. I'm kind of curious what they would do with her because she's all big in nature. So I'm hoping that like they don't go too crazy with like giving her, I don't know, like powers when she's in heat or something. So the third, me personally, I would want Bob back. I think I want Bob just because I like that he is the fat character stereotype, but unlike other characters, he's not disgusting like Baraicho, and he's not just insufferable like Rufus. Instead, he's like really cool and he breaks the stereotype. And I've always thought that Bob was a really cool and neat addition to Tekken. As for where he would fit in the story, I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I really know a whole lot about Bob, but from what I gathered, he was really always just kind of someone that got thrown into the fold. However, I think that realistically, what they're probably gonna do is add Kunimitsu back into the game. I think that there's been a big push for like a lot more anime, and she's also a weapon character, and I feel like as much as I wouldn't want to deal with her, seeing as how she was in Tekken 7, I would just kind of be surprised if, due to the modern status quo of Tekken 8, they don't add her. So I'm expecting Kunimitsu to be the third, but really I want Bob. And the fourth character, I'm thinking that we're going to get another guest character. Who that guest character would be, I don't know. I would want it to be either Rock Howard from Fatal Fury or Akira Yuki from Virtua Fighter, which is something that I've always wanted for years. Now, I think there's a chance for a third character to be a guest character, but I'm gonna save. Excuse me. I'm gonna save that for its own video because I think it's a pretty interesting topic to be explored on its own. So hopefully I get that up. But I think that I would rather a fighting game guest character this time around, and I think that to me what makes the most sense would either be Fatal Fury getting a guest character in Tekken, which I would love it because, Season 2 spoilers, they haven't been officially revealed yet, but there's 6 characters for City of the Wolves Season 2. 2 of them are silhouettes. One of them is apparently going to be Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. How cool would it be if we got Rock Howard in Tekken 8, and also we got, just me personally, Jin Kazama in City of the Wolves? It would be another take on a Tekken character in a 2D format, and I would be all for that. Also, it would hopefully drive more people to try Fatal Fury, because I think that City of the Wolves is an incredible fighting game that not enough people are talking about. So I think that it would work hand in hand with both games. And then, of course, Akira, where, we got Virtua Fighter coming back, and although Harada is not with the company anymore, he did make a tweet, responded to someone years ago asking for Akira in Tekken, and then he said, tell them to announce the next Virtua Fighter, then we'll talk. And well, VF6 or whatever it's going to be is seemingly, on the horizon. They announced it, and I think that it would be a great time if a Virtua Fighter character appeared in Tekken, and it would draw up interest for Virtua Fighter, because people would be introduced, like Tekken fans would be introduced through Virtua Fighter through whoever the character would be. Maybe it won't be Akira. I wouldn't want it to be Akira personally, just because Akira is raw. But rather be him or Sarah or whoever. And it would make more interest, more talk, and more buzz about Virtua Fighter, because they definitely do need some buzz, and I think that that would really help out. But aside from that, though, I want to end off on, I want some more modes. And there's 2 modes specifically that I would like. That being Tournament Mode and Team Battle. To be honest, the fact that this game launched without a Tournament Mode was just really surprising to me. I feel like all they gotta do is just make it exactly the same as Tekken 7, and it'd be great. Implement it in the main menu, implement it in the Tekken Fight Lounge, and I'm just surprised that it's not something that's in the game, because there's a lot of online tournaments, and they use the Fight Lounge. And they have the group match, so I'm thinking, well, why didn't they just, make tournament mode? And of course, Team Battle. I think that Team Battle was always a really fun mode. If you don't know what that is, it would basically be like, think of it like KOF, where you pick multiple characters. Let's say you do like a 3v3 team battle. Let's say I pick, Jin, Kazuya, Heihachi, and the other person picks, Xiaoyu, Kazumi, and June. Whenever I would lose the first round, I would start round 2 with Kazuya. Or at least, I think that's how it would go. It'd either be by the game or by the round. It's been a while, so forgive me if I'm not remembering it completely correctly. But it'd basically be, you would fight each other until the whole roster of your picking is done. And I think that'd be a fun mode. Hopefully it would be something that they would put into the Tekken Fight Lounge. I don't really know if they would. I imagine they would, just because I don't think it'd be that hard, but who knows. And yeah, that's about all I really have for what I want from Season 3. And I know that Season 2 has been really rough. I mean, I'm not really playing the game anymore. I want to, it's just, when I've tried to, I don't get what Tekken 8's wanting to be. I just don't vibe with it. I don't think it's good or bad. It's just not for me. And I'm really hoping that Season 3 is something that we can all enjoy, because I think, me personally, this game, I might have said in my last video, but this game has the potential to be the best Tekken in the series. Like, to me, they've nailed everything except what I would want gameplay-wise from a Tekken. So if they just lock in, I think they got it. And as rough as it is that Harada's no longer going to be around, I don't think that Harada not being here is, a bad omen that, we're doomed or anything. It could be, because like I said in my previous video, maybe all of the few good signs we've gotten from Season 2, maybe they were only orchestrated by him. But rather than just doom and gloom, I would rather just remain optimistic for, as, if I'm being honest, little as I can, seeing as how it's been over a year of this, of Tekken 8, and it's only just been silence. So I'm hoping a lot from Season 3. Will we get there? I don't know. Realistically, it can happen, but the question is, will it? But anyways, though, thank you all a ton for watching as always, and I will catch you all next time. See ya.